That's
Yeah.
awesome. You know what's it's interesting. A lot of people are like, "Well, what do I use LinkedIn for?" My brother, an executive search firm. These guys that work at executive search firms, they use LinkedIn all the time and LinkedIn filters to find candidates. My brother places CEOs of banks. Going in through the groups is even a more brilliant way, so you don't have to use InMail. They're not connected with you yet, but then they become connected after you send them an email, right? After you send them a mail through
Yes,
the message.
it's extremely soft way to sell somebody.
Right.
You know. Also, another thing I like to do on LinkedIn is do mini groups by creating tags of people. And I'll show you. I'll show you what I mean here.
Okay.
I'll go to my connections.
Okay.
I like to survey people by making them into. I segment them into groups by tagging them into the same group. All right, there we go. All right, for example, got about 8,900 connections. If you see here, I have a staffing group of 50. These are all recruiters. Okay, so I bunched them together. I did, and this took a while, but you can get your virtual assistant or somebody to do something like that, and it would just pay them whatever you pay your assistant, and they can take care of it. So I have a couple of staffing groups, and what I can do here is right here where it says send a message. I can send a message to all 50 of them, and what I like to do is I like to do small surveys on those messages. I'm not actually friends with my 9,000 people that I'm connected with. So to break the ice
Right.
or get information out of them, I like to send mini surveys, and I'll say something like, hey guys, I noticed that we're connected on LinkedIn, but we haven't really spoke. I'd love to have your opinion on something. I'm creating a product for recruiters on how to use LinkedIn, and I'd love to know your pain points and where I can best help you. If this is of any interest of you, please let me know how I can help you, and we'll talk a little bit more. Thanks, guys. Los. And
Brilliant.
most of the
Nice.
time, I'll get about a 10% response, but I make a lot of mini groups, so I'll send out 400 messages immediately, which takes 2 minutes, and I'll get about 40, 50 people that will respond. A lot of them respond immediately just with their phone and say, hey, we need somebody to do a workshop on this kind of stuff, or whatever the case. But a lot of others respond with their actual pain points. And so that helps me. I'm actually going to be doing a product on LinkedIn for recruiters, because I actually did the step that I told you. And I got all the information that they needed and things like that. So I was able to put the pieces together and serve them on their own pain points and not on what I think is something that they want to hear. I try to, when I do those kind of surveys, I try to do what I call like mass personalization, where I'm not making it sound like it's a mass message, and I put a little bit of touch where they feel like I sent them a message.
Okay.
If you can learn to
All right.
personalize things, the more you can learn to personalize it and keep it on a relationship level, the better responses you're going to get on LinkedIn.